All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Bungie returning the Bungie Bounty emblem back into Destiny 2 and its potentially catastrophic return into the game. The reason why it may have a terrible reception back into Destiny 2 is for two big reasons, okay? The first one is that the landscape of Crucible has changed, and when these bounties originated, Crucible was a lot simpler. It was a much simpler time. This bounty originated in Destiny 1 when there was no quitter's penalty, and more importantly, when there wasn't skill-based matchmaking. And while I am a big fan of the Bungie bounty, I think it's a really cool community-driven event, and I really like that Bungie puts these on. I think that with the introduction of a quitter's penalty, which is going to greatly diminish your ability to actually get this emblem, because what you did before is you would queue up at the exact same time as the target that you're trying to match with. And when you would queue at the same time as them, if you matched with them, awesome, you complete out the match. If you play with them and win in that Crucible match, great, you get the emblem. If you play against them and win, great, you get the emblem. But if you queued into a match where you weren't with the targeted person you're trying to match with, then you usually just quit the match because you wanted to get back in queue to make sure that you were ready for the next match. But now you can't do that, or at least not without getting a quitter's penalty. And even with the quitter's penalty in place inside Destiny 2, I think that on the day of these Bungie bounties, you'll see a huge spike, a huge rise in quitter penalties, because people either won't know or won't care. They'll just change characters and do everything they can to queue up again and try and get that Bungie bounty emblem, because it is a really good looking emblem. And so while quitter penalties are certainly going to put a damper on this sort of competition, what's even worse, though, is that skill-based matchmaking may very well ruin this competition in its entirety. Because if, in this scenario, for example, if you're trying to match the, whatever it is, a Bungie dev or a Bungie forum ninja, whatever it may be, if you are not in their same skill bracket, you can never match them in Crucible. You're not going to be able to match them in a Crucible match. So if you are, say, presumably a high-skilled player, you would never match a Bungie dev that's of mid to low skill. I mean, most of the Bungie devs that we've seen, you know, they're not like some sort of PvP gods by any means. Most of them, from what I've seen, and I'm not here to roast the Bungie employees' PvP skills, but most of them do be running into walls and stuff. You're basically never going to match them if you're of mid skill in PvP to high skill in PvP. And I mean, I don't even know exactly how skill-based matchmaking works on the low end, but I imagine if you're a new player to the game, you also probably would not match them. Which, if you think about it, if you add all of that together, it's going to make the outcome of this Bungie bounty pretty awful. Between the skill-based matchmaking segregation of the player base to the quitter's penalty, penalizing those that try to consistently match against the designated target, this more than likely is not going to end well. And I think that Bungie kind of had some foresight for that, and that's why they kind of switched up the Bungie bounty, and they said that, hey, we're also going to throw in strikes and gambit. And I think they did so because they realized that Crucible is kind of a mess right now, especially after all of the recent changes. And it's just kind of sad to see. I wanted to make this video to talk about this topic because I thought it was a relevant and worthy topic of making a video. It's just sad to see that even Bungie themselves are pushing the community, pushing their, you know, beloved Bungie bounty away from PvP, because PvP is in such a bad state currently. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section below. Will you be participating in the up and coming Bungie bounties? And as always, make sure you're subscribed here with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. Later.